All right, ladies and gentlemen, how the hell are you? It is Sunday, fun day. I got Troy E. Anderson with me always on a Sunday afternoon, doing the shop talk, hanging out. Yeah. Troy, how the hell was your week, man?
Dude, besides figuring out the ducks rule the world, it was awesome.
Ducks rule the world. They
And I'll
probably.
go into detail because I know that sounds like a very general statement. Ducks rule the world. But the reason why I say that is that I found myself a new SUV. It has a giant, almost looks like this duck from the behind. And this thing's like 10 times bigger than this duck. It's on top of this SUV, right? And I
Okay.
was going to get one car, which I'm still going to get, right? And this one is the car for me, man. It's all terrain. I can put my camping stuff, I can put I can go find you, bro. I could take this son of a bitch. I do it right, take it all the way to Kentucky. And have all
Hell
my gear,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Just drive there, motherfucker. And like go, yeah, hoo! There, look, it's Chris.
Oh,
It's Chronic Chris
well,
on Central
got
City.
you got to ask yourself, do you really want to go to Kentucky though? It gets pretty
Yes, I
weird.
do. Yes, I do. My family actually immigrated for where I'm at here. So I'm going the reverse trail of trailers all the way to Oklahoma to Kansas City to wherever.
All
Have to visit.
right.
We're going to have to visit Sarah, who didn't show up from Kansas. And say, hey, Sarah, get in the car. Go and hit the train station here. Come on.
Yeah, what the hell? People not showing up and stuff, breaking my poor little heart. Calling you
Yeah,
out, Sarah.
I can look good for everybody. With that, that's cool for me. I'm branding myself. I'm trying to brand it other people. So when other people want to be branded, it's like I gotta go to Europe and stuff. So Europeans are always reliable. You know that, Chris. You know what I mean? When a Norwegian brand says, yes, they would do it. They
Just,
do it.
yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Now,
I'm just saying
well, here's
that's
the
how
thing. Here's the thing about being branded, though. I mean, I've seen what it does to a cow, and it looks like it fucking hurts.
it can't hurt. It's permanent. I mean, I had one done by my friend. Hey, Mike, snow fire. This guy, he took a lighter, right? So I got my prop here. So he took a big lighter just like this, right, guys?
He did the smiley face.
He did the smiley face. So he turned the lighter on. He waited for it to get really, really hot. Say, hey, we're just gonna wait and just gonna watch this lighter. And then he went like this and branded me. And you know what happened to that place that he branded me at?
It blew up.
It burnt to the ground 7 years later since some cow had a grease fire. The
Holy
karma
shit.
hit that table with me in that pain. So all that trauma, all that pain that spider hit my skin caused the whole place to go down 7 years later in a ball of glory. Now it's
I
different
don't know
building.
about Washington State, but I know the big smiley face was kind of a rite of passage, where I grew up.
Yeah, it was. I did a lot of weird things. This place was called Casey's Caboose out in Sumner, Washington. This place is right next to the railroad tracks. And now it's a new facility. It's like a coffee place, for yuppies. But back in the day, it was like an old-fashioned, like drive-in establishment that you thought this is archaic. And like it totally played off of the train. So it had like these trains everywhere inside. It had the train in front of it. It was a whole front thing was a train. You could see a train on the building. I mean, it was part of their logo. You know what I mean? So it was their theme, trains.
Okay.
I knew then that I was going to hop some freight when I was younger, and I did. When I was like in my teenage years, my friend Kevin Schultz. And as some federal officer arrested me now, go right the fuck ahead. With the world you're living with, you need more hoppers.
Hey, I'll admit I actually hopped a train, freight train, hopped in the car and rode my happy ass from Davenport, Iowa to Dubuque, Iowa. And the train actually dropped me off a couple blocks away from mom and dad's house.
Oh yeah. What I'm getting to here, and guys, this goes back to music because I'm trying to deliver a story. But every night we're doing interviews on these weeklies, and we're getting views. I'm admit we were about 100 views. The last two are coming in 100 views each. That means we're probably gonna have 1,000 by next week, which is cool because we're gonna promo and we're gonna get it out. This is promo day to give you an idea what we're going to do. But me and Chris are about ready to accomplish this concept we call Shop Talk International Interviews on Asgard Radio with Chris. Chronic, and me, Troy E. Anderson from International Punk Kings. I think we're going to start seeing some results because demand, obviously, numbers don't lie, is starting to increase.
Yes.
So what we're going to do is we're going to give you some cool shows to watch. And Chris, what do you think of Halloween? Or what do we feel about? We got this thing with Michelle the Dead. She's a good number. She's our best number so far. She's almost at 150 views already. She's already 2 weeks out. You know, we're getting attention.
Oh, I'm totally ready for the super spooky Halloween spectacular.
I got my gas mask ready to go. It's all shined up. You know, as The Rock would say, I shined it really good. I'm gonna take it sideways. I'm gonna put it up your what?
Yo, Rudy Poo candy asses.
What I'm saying is we're looking to get a candy drive. So I'm looking for any candy sponsor that wants to sponsor us. I don't care if you're M&M's, Reese's Pieces. I don't care what it is. Find me a chocolate company. Find me some candy. Find me some people that want to come on the show and help us drive this movement to this next level. It's phase of attack. That's right. We're ready to advertise Reese's Pieces. So I'm looking for some Halloween people, some ghoulish people, some entertaining people. You find me the Twinkies, I'll find you on the show with a celebrity. You like Joe Rogan?
But wait.
Come
I
on
swear,
now.
every Asgard DJ, every radio DJ, period, needs a little setup like I have. I'm tired of hearing DJ say, hold on, I got to run to the fridge and get a beer real quick. Well, you know what? I got the mini fridge right here. And I'm not a big drinker of beer and whatnot, but I keep it stocked full of soda, Monster energy drinks, Twinkies, ding dongs, cupcakes, cookies, snacks. I'm a motherfucking pothead.
We're getting our ducks in a row, people.
All right. Fuck, I'm trying to keep them in the same pond.
Now, I live at LPM headquarters. So if you see the scan thing, it's going to come in backwards. But scan it anyway. See if we can do it non-backwards. Scan it anyway. Get it on there. And this will get you onto this. And it is LPM anymore. So we get that. Can you read that? Can anyone read that?
EDABS.
EDABS. And that stands for Education, Design, Designation, and Be Smart. I'm high. I don't know what the D stands for.
That's all good because we have one too, and this actually just takes you to AsgardRadio.com.
There it is. These are the things you can do to promote yourself, bands and artists. What are these called again? I forget what these called.
QR scans.
We gotta get one for Shop Talk and for me and you. But
yes,
this is what you do, artists. If you want education, it ain't that hard. You don't have to go on YouTube and buy someone's seminar. We're just two boys. We talk a very normal talk. You know, we're country folks. I was born a hill person in a way, South Hill, y'all. He's of course in Central City, but I'm sure he's been in the sticks a few times, right, Chris?
Oh yeah. You know, and they keep telling me you're in Kentucky now. I'll tell these people one thing. Where I live in Kentucky, it's a good little sized town. Population about 4,500 people. But we are the county epicenter. So your county Walmart happens to be right down the street from my house.
Right.
You know, and these people all down here, well, this is small town America, blah, blah, blah. The town I lived in Illinois was half the size of the town I live in here in Kentucky and was surrounded by more fucking corn than Jonathan Davis could ever sing about in his life.
Well, there it is. What we're trying to talk is like, I'm not saying we're making a public announcement. We are the public announcement.
Yeah, we're sitting here.
I'm not trying to be subjectively arrogant or anything, but let's look at the number of people. And I'm only going to name drop. I'm not name dropping rock stars so much right now. I will name drop because it is time to name drop this situation. And I'm only doing this for a reason. You take your Howard Sterns, you take your other radio people, just like entertainers, they're kind of on their way out. Okay. Joe Rogan, Tim Pool, they're going to be around for a while. Your Ben Shapiro's, they're going to be around for a little bit. They're like the They're the new
They're the
rock
next
stars.
generation of radio hosts and podcasters.
Yeah, but we are kind of different. We're like a hybrid. Like you have marijuana, you get your sativa. You want some high action, you're going for Howard Stern. You're going for some shock jock shit back in the day. Most we're not into that shit.
Man
nowadays.
cow.
You want some low in-depth reporting, you might go to Tim Pool. But then again, it's not slow. It's really kind of they're trying to be nice about it, but they're giving you information really quick. It's too much information. We're kind of like your average artist talk. We're not going to over-examine a situation and kill it like beating up a cow. Like, yeah, we're just gonna keep on hammering this until it dies.
Well, also,
we're gonna try to make it entertaining. So,
I do like to always pay homage to the broadcasters before me, the ones that inspired me.
Yeah.
Dr. Demento, Wolfman Jack, Casey Kasem.
Great guys.
Dr. Johnny Fever. And if you don't know who the fuck that is, you guys need to sit down and look.
It was always a voice. I will tell you one thing. Howard Cosell. I love that voice he had, Howard Cosell, the sports reporter. Like, dude, that guy, he had something. He didn't look good. He was not we're kind of handsome guys compared to Howard Cosell. Or like you look at the Rockstar movie, they look at the radio guy. He looks all ugly and stuff, but his voice is like so monotone. Like it's like he had the voice. Howard Cosell had a voice.
And there are ones like Chicagoland DJ Freak. He's been doing it since 1982, and he has almost the perfect rock and roll radio voice.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's a gravelly, all around rock and roll, like I support Lemmy kind of voice, you know?
It sounds like they've been smoking since they were born. Like they've been having a cigarette in their mouth.
The funny thing is he don't smoke.
I know, but that's what they sound like. Like your average truck driver.
But he don't smoke, but he drinks enough whiskey to put
right
almost anybody under the table. I mean, when I worked for him at the bar, at the venue, one of the requirements of the job was know your booze, know your whiskey, and fucking drink. And it would piss.
It's too late when you're on the floor, flat on your face, going, "What the fuck?"
Well, I've always managed.
Wait, when you are in that position, you know what vulnerable I've seen this happen because I live at a record company house. You know what happens? And this is the funniest thing. You think that getting your face, do you think that's the worst thing in the world? No, there is something worse. When women see you as you're laying flat on the ground and your face is that way and your ass is that way, you know what they will do? They will find a feather and stick up your ass for all the rest of the girls to see in the morning time to laugh at you. I've had this scene happen before by 6 women to 1 guy, and it wasn't me.
Now, personally, my personal favorite has always been shaving 1 eyebrow.
That's happened. I've seen that happen.
You get fucked up and you pass out on me. Chances are you're waking up shy 1 eyebrow.
Ooh, that's bad.
The sad thing is then you're the dumb motherfucker that's got to shave off the other one. And about 80% of your facial expression and recognition is through your eyebrows.
Through your eyebrows. Well, not to say that's just really weird, but we're not talking Red and Black 2 where the guy's breathing through his eyebrow. We're talking no eyebrow.
So now you got to go into your girlfriend's makeup kit and be glad that you watched your Aunt Patty when you were a little kid pencil on her eyebrows and hope you don't look too surprised by the end of it.
That's just fucked up. That's funny as fuck. It's fucked up though. That is really fucked up, dude. You go to work like that, you are the talk of the town all fucking year.
Looks like you were partying with Chronic Chris over the weekend. Fuck yeah.
That conversation will go through the next year, probably. We're talking about just you don't want to talk about his eyebrow when you look at him straight in the eye. In fact, you could just kind of look on that direction, because if you look that way, you're going to see it straight up. Just don't ever look at the guy straight in his eye, please. He has a little bit of twitch on that one.
So yeah, my work is sending me to West Virginia in a couple weeks here for a couple weeks. And the guy I'm going with, I told him, I'm like, all right, man, I need to get my hotel kit ready. I need to find all my Nerf guns and my super soaker.
You're gonna do some extracurricular activity.
Well, and then he's, you know, he kind of looks at me, super soaker. I says, yeah. You ever fall asleep sober and wake up drunk? Welcome to my world, buddy. But then he says, you know, the other day, is like, so we are going to go drinking one night while we're out there, right? I'm like, yeah. What do you think the super soaker's for, dude? We're going to literally pour alcohol down people's throats at 100 miles an hour.
Wow.
What,
that's amazing.
You guys never filled up a super soaker full of whiskey or vodka?
No, that was more squirt guns to get the girls white t-shirts, you know, nipply, the little hard, because they're wet and they're cold, you know.
Oh yeah, it does that, and you know, at the same time, you get a little bit in your mouth, a little bit of your face, and your skin is porous, so you actually still are getting fucked up because your skin and your pores are absorbing the alcohol.
Yeah, I'm just liking the visuals, but yeah, sure. I'm talking girls and titties. Titties.
Well, yeah. When they're around too, you know, double the fun with the super soaker.
Oh man, you almost said a commercial we could have done. Double the pleasure, double the fun.
They already did that with Double Mint gum.
That's right.
And you had the Double Mint twins.
And what's a twist? Okay, no, I want to know. Okay, we're looking for candy companies. Let's do it. Let's really. We're gonna roast all candy companies in at least 20 minutes until we find more musical ideas. Okay, here we're gonna do. I'm gonna throw you three. You throw me three, because you know this is good. Tell me, why the peanut butter and the chocolate for Reese's Pieces?
Well, because is there a better combination of two flavors of a sweet and salty variety? You know, I mean, straight up, right. Fuck the Reese's peanut butter cup. I'll straight up just take some fucking chocolate frosting, mix it with peanut butter on a spoon, and eat that shit.
Okay, another food products. So this is more outside the normal fray, but what I've been talking about: banana in anything, banana pie, banana. I just came up with that one, by the way, guys. Banana pie. Here's banana pudding pie. You ever had that?
I'll tell you what, man.
That's some good shit.
When I worked at the bar, Top Fuel Saloon in Braidwood, it was a bar, a restaurant, a concert venue, and a radio station inside. Freak broadcast out of a 1980 GMC cab over studio that he custom built.
Right.
So, for celebrities, you know, we do things for musicians and the rock and roll community. And for Elvis's birthday, we came up with the Fat Elvis burger. Now Elvis's favorite foods to eat were fried peanut butter and banana sandwiches.
Fried chicken too, right? He liked his fried chicken. I know.
And he liked jelly donuts. His two favorite things to eat. His two favorite things to eat were jelly donuts and fried peanut butter and banana sandwiches.
What about chicken? Did he eat the fried chicken?
He probably ate a lot of fried chicken too. Yeah, he was from Tennessee.
Rock Hard. I think it was Rock Hard. They had him in a Rock Hard, right? Depiction of him.
No. He was originally from Tupelo, Mississippi.
But he had Colonel. He had a Colonel that was his manager, but he didn't have Colonel Sanders. He had an actual Colonel.
He had an actual Colonel. Yeah. Well,
sort of.
I don't know if he actually was a colonel too, or just adapted the nickname, because, you know, back in the day, it kind of was a popular nickname. Now, Colonel Sanders, he actually was a member of the Order of Kentucky Colonels.
Wow, that's an actual. Let's dive into that, shall we?
To be a Kentucky colonel, you have to be sponsored in and you have to have an extensive knowledge of the history and traditions of the state of Kentucky.
Wow.
Like Mick Jagger and Keith Richards, they're Kentucky colonels.
Whoa.
I mean, there's a whole list of, I mean, they're just giving it out nowadays.
But that was tradition in the Southeast.
Yeah, down in the state of Kentucky, you know, knowing the Kentucky history and because there is a lot of history. I live right down the road from about 10 minutes from my house is a Civil War battlefield.
What about Gettysburg? How far is Gettysburg, and what about this battlefield?
Gettysburg, that's way up in Pennsylvania.
No, but is it similar to concept that they come out in their uniforms and react the battle?
Oh yeah, they do reenactments down here. They had the Battle of Sacramento, which is 10 minutes from my house is the battlefield.
Now, what is the process you want to go witness this phenomenal thing?
You just find out when they hold the reenactments and go out and watch.
And when do you know there's a seasonal? Is it in the spring?
Usually they do them in the spring and then in the fall. Because don't nobody want to do that shit in the middle of July in Kentucky wearing wool when it's 110 degrees.
Now that's the thing. That's another thing I don't understand about comment. We're gonna become journalists too, but we're more soft on the cuff. You know what I mean? We're willing to smoke our pot and we're kind of loose. And I like being loose. The reason why I say that, I think that Joe Rogan and Tim Pool and all, they got too damn serious. They have no entertainment value. Like, I can talk politics in a good sense. Like, why don't they tell people, hey, get outside and go to a zoo and fucking forget about the news and live your life? Why don't they ever say that shit? Why don't they ever say that shit? Not one of them say that shit. They go, you gotta be motivated, you gotta be a success, blah, blah, blah. They're literally feeding you the idea that you gotta be on that treadmill. That's what they're telling you. Like, well, we were against the treadmill, but you're going to feed you everything we say to be on that treadmill. And you know what I mean by a treadmill, right?
Yeah, being on that rat race.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I would say as artists, as human beings, we don't need that kind of crap anymore. That dialect of talking is feeding people in a direction that they don't want to go into anymore. It's like, we got to have a civil war. No, we don't. It's up to the people. It's up to the people. Why would we want to fight other people? We have nothing to know or against. These people we trade with, we fuck with, we have sex with, we have babies with. Why the hell would we want to fucking kill?
You know, I was watching this thing the other day, and it said if you got rid of all the creatures in the ocean, the world would destroy itself. If you got rid of all the four-legged creatures in the world, it would destroy itself. But if you got rid of every single man in this world, the world would thrive. We are the only thing in this world that doesn't really matter to the existence of the world.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
But yet we're also at the same time the ones that are destroying it.
Yeah, well, the ants will survive. So that's, again, I think you got to look at it is a philosophy. Maybe it's an alien philosophy. Maybe I'm coming from the alien's perspective. But put your shoes or put your feet in or put your mind in the alien mind. I'm a bunch of aliens. I came in 1955. We flew in. We're like, hey, how's it going? We're here. And you guys took your rocket ships and you the second time try to chase us. So that is good welcoming, trying to be all scared about the unknown. If the unknown already showed up at your doorstep, you got to figure it out, man. You got to figure out, how do I react to this? Well, maybe not aggressively.
Here's what I got to say about aliens, and I don't express it very much because I don't need the foil hat people come knocking on my door wanting me to join them and shit like that. But I believe that there is some other form of life out in our universe.
Most definitely.
I believe that those forms of life have made passings by Earth.
Oh, yeah.
And I believe they want nothing to do with us. They want nothing to do with our planet. There is nothing useful for them here.
I think it's a prime directive, like Star Trek disputes. And, your ideas comes from alien thoughts and traditions because they've been here before. They have laid down some ideas through our ideas of the unknown, if not consciously, at least unconsciously.
Well, yeah, I mean, because if you ever watch like Ancient Aliens and stuff
Yeah.
like that, I think aliens and extraterrestrial beings have a great pull on human philosophies.
What we're around, what we're doing right now, we are allowed, because we had a lot of corruption at the time today, and it could be that we're allowed to at least send a message to other people saying there is another way. You don't have to always fear the unknown. You could just walk and find out what the fuck it is.
Right.
It ain't that hard. If I had something on the backyard, I didn't know what the fuck it is, what am I going to do? I'm going to go find out what it is. And once I find out what it is, I can make an arrangement if it's aggressive enough. If it's not aggressive, I try to communicate with that life form. I try to
that's
life form.
There's very few things that actually separate humans from the other animals, and our general curiosity is one of the big factors. Now, there are other animals out there that do get a little curious, but if their curiosity identifies something as dangerous, they get the fuck away from it. Whereas humans, our curiosity identifies with something is dangerous. Well, let me see how I can fuck with it.
I hear what you're going with on this, and I agree with you, Chris, 100%. I'm going to try to give a viewer a little bit of a small anecdote when they meet an alien, okay? Think of it like this. They might treat you like a pet, or you might treat them like a pet. But either way, the idea is pretty much the same. Dogs, cats, pets, they like us. We work with them. Even crows. I don't know if you're into crows or birds. They might like you. They may not want to eat you. They just want to hang out with you and they enjoy your company. If we could treat aliens at least at that level, instead of being fearful of them, we're taking the right step.
Well, see, and here's,
you know what I'm saying? It's a bond between something that's not us, but we have decided to have a bond.
Well, going back, like I said, some animals, their curiosity, if it identifies something as dangerous, it backs away. I think aliens have come close. They've thought about making contact, but then they've identified us as dangerous. Because what are we going to do when we catch an alien? We're going to put it in a fucking lab and cut it up and dissect it into 1,000,001 little pieces and find out what every single cell of it does with a team of scientists. And they don't want us doing that to them.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. If you're an alien, you come to a place where all they want to do is eat each other. You hear about how their civilizations die, and the last thing they do is they start, oh, this tastes good. I got no food to eat. They start eating their own flesh. I mean, if I was an alien species, I'd be kind of irritatedly taken back too. Seriously. I mean, again, put your feet in the alien's thinking. I am an alien, okay? I have intelligence, right? I got ships and shit. I got things to do. I got galactic energy. I got save races. I'm a zoologist, basically. I'm just trying to keep a knowledge of the universe. I want to keep life flowing. You know what I mean? I mean that's their good goal. Let's say they're Jedi's versus the Dark Lord like Siths going, and they're the villains, So you got the villains or you got the heroes, right? So maybe there's heroes and villains in the alien species. That's what a lot of people say there is. There's good ones, there's bad ones, right? Try to at least, if you have good intentional ones, to take care of them. If it's a bad one, then run away. What do you do in a cartoon when you can't beat them? What does Sun Tzu say? When you can't beat them, you run! Run away! Rerun from the situation. Don't dare fight something. They'll kill your ass quick.
And remember, you don't have to outrun the alien. You just got to outrun your buddy.
Chris, well said.
Oh, that's what I tell my wife. Hey, when the zombies come, I ain't got to outrun the zombies. I just got to outrun you. I love you, but when it becomes every man for himself against zombies,
oh god,
it's time to move.
All right, let's get back to reality here. I got some people that understand. I'm not only trying to make money off of food. lottery people. I will announce lottery numbers if you guys pay us money. That's why they laugh. They never had. Remember back in the day, they say, "Well, the number today was this much, and you could have made that much if you listened to us."
Yes.
It's like you go to the store and you scan them. Like, did I win today? That's the worst. That's the worst thing experience. What happens when you win $1 million and the whole world knows? Like, scan, you won $1 million.
Okay.
Dude, what happens in that room? What happens in that room? I would like to experience that. Do people go, "I want to kill this person. He has $1 million. I'm gonna take that ticket." Is that gonna happen?
No, that's not going to happen, because the first thing they're going to do when they present the ticket, where'd you get it, and show us proof of where you got it.
Okay.
If you got the Mega Ball winning ticket, you need to show them the ticket and proof of where you got it. In any convenience store that you go into, they'll be able to tell exactly where that ticket was sold, and then they'll be able to pull up the camera and make sure you bought it.
Well, for ours, it's a V number, so you get the saw in red. So that red number is the store number for our state. For other states, it can be different.
Okay, yeah, I don't know exactly how it works. I know I used to work at a gas station, and
I don't know if you can see the red or not, but there's a red in this piece of paper somewhere. I don't know if it shows up or not, but it's a red in here.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's the terminal number that it was sold from.
Yeah, so that does the job on that one, I think. But yeah, your tickets got also these barcodes. Okay, so the barcode reads it, and then what you're gonna do most of the time, you're gonna go to like your Safeway or something. I go to a Safeway versus a mini market. Again, I don't want the people, I want $1 million. Go to your Safeway, because your Safeway, generally you got a middle class people. They ain't just gonna rush in like zombies and say, "Hey, I want to take your ticket." So you got people that are going to protect you, and then you can arrangements to get your money.
Or if you go to your state's lottery website, if their website is for your phone compatible with the QR barcode scanners.
Oh yeah, there you go.
You can scan them right from your phone.
There it is. Educational, guys.
I don't know about Washington, but
how do you deal with it? This is the thing. These are common topics, but I hate to say it, our educational system is wrecked. So I think giving people common knowledge about things. Well, what do you do when you win a lottery ticket?
Here's what I say about our educational system. It is called the public school system.
Yeah.
Not the government funded mandatory educational programming. No, it is called public school system. I don't think the government should have any say so in what they're teaching in the public school system. It should be the public, that community, the parents of the students that are being taught in that school should be deciding the curriculum that their children learn. Because now in some states, in their schools, they're learning sexual education, sexual orientation, and gender identification before they're even in 4th fucking grade. I don't want my kids learning that shit that young, and they don't need to be taught it by someone that I have no idea who the fuck you are.
Exactly. I got some good news for you, Chris. Some big good news. I don't know if you got a chance to see it 2 days ago, but a case has won. And censorship, as of today, is being talked about because this case in a courtroom told social media they can no longer censor communication the way they've been doing.
Good.
It just came out. It was a case on Tim Pool. He actually reported it 2 days ago. And I think if we go down that road of saying disallowing censorship, we can talk about this educational thing, and it will actually resonate now.
Well, here's what I got to say about censorship. Censorship, if you ask me, is a form of communism and control. I don't believe in censorship. I believe in saying what's on your mind. And if you don't agree with my idea and my opinion, That's fine. That is your right.
Well,
But
they're saying that the public copyright concept of ownership of that platform is non and void because the way they constructed it, anyone could have done. It's basically saying, I got some street, I decide how the street works. Sorry, that's the Constitution. You're in violation of everyone's rights. Your censorship, your blocking, all this stuff is illegal. Stop it. And guess what? Rumble does do better than Facebook.
well,
And Rumble already knows this, and Rumble is making millions right now.
well, and
Rumble is gonna be
I actually have had this experience firsthand. There is a younger person within my family.
yeah.
Uh, I said something. I don't remember exactly what I said, but he looked at me and straight up said, "You can't say that because it offends me.
Right.
You can't tell me I can't say that because that actually violates my First Amendment right, which supersedes any
Exactly.
feelings you may have."
So this court ruling as of 2 days ago, and again, you guys go on, check out Tim Pool or check out your did. It just came out. I know by Monday, tomorrow, the whole world is going to go, what is Facebook going to do? They're going to get sued. Well, guess what? Too bad. You made some bad bricks on fucking social media. And guess what? Rumble's going to take you to the cleaners. And I'm going to get a Rumble account pretty soon, like everyone else is. You know what happened?
Facebook
I'll tell you
actually
what
Facebook
what
actually
really happened.
has been sued before,
You know
and
what
I know
really
people that have gotten payments for a class action settlement against Facebook in the state of Illinois for data mining.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you what happened though. You know how the Joe Rogan Experience got onto Spotify and he made millions of dollars?
Yeah.
As of 2 weeks ago, because of the Andrew Tate situation with his blocking, that guy who was all expressional, like, yeah, you know, treat women, blah, blah, blah. They banned his ass. He was a really popular social media character. That Andrew guy got signed by Rumble. And Rumble stock is going up like big time. So that is the alternative to Facebook. Rumble is taking Facebook to the cleaners. And after this ruling, that's a double-edged sword. So now Rumble's taking the market. The ruling says we're going to sue Facebook because of all the shit they've been doing. That's a double-edged sword, man. Facebook is on the way down unless they change radically. They could. They should. They better. Just saying. That's what happened this week. And we had two great interviews, by the way. We should recap that too. We had some good interviews.
As far as honestly, my belief is Facebook's going to be around for a while. It's already been around.
They will. They got to readjust though, because with this ruling and what's happened with Rumble, they're not the only play in town anymore. It's like when IBM figured out, oh, there's a thing called Apple. It's just like when Microsoft figured out, hey, we can, oh shit, you know.
I mean, Facebook has outlasted all social media platforms.
Yeah, they've done the job. They paved the road, but there's highways coming up from the back end, and they know it.
Well, please find me something better than Facebook because I really miss MySpace. Tom never judged me.
Rumble is definitely the next Facebook. It's the alternative for Facebook is Rumble, because Rumble is non-biased, non-censorous, and now with that ruling, all of them have to be non-biased and non-ruling. Their policy of what has to go on in a quote PC culture is dead as of today. The PC movement is over. People are fed up with what you can see, what you can say. Big Brother 1984, you died. You read your book. You're a piece of crap. You're tyrants.
Yeah.
You're going against the First Amendment, for God's sake. You know, how do they think they could have done that and people liking it? We're free men. We're not a bunch of cogs. We ran away from cogs in Europe to make this country, and they keep on wanting to go and make us into cogs. We don't like being cogs. Sorry, guys. We're not commies. Your communist shit wasn't working anyway.
And we're not cogs because we're all, at the end of the day, free thinking individuals here in the great United States of America. But
and we should recognize ourselves as being Americans and don't feel bad being a patriot. Don't feel bad being proud of your country. You're
also,
a nationalist. Sorry, that's just how it is.
The way the workforce goes and whatnot, that kind of makes us cogs in the machine.
Well, we're nationalists. We love our jobs. When I work at, I protect my plant until I leave. That has an idea that you protect where you work. If you work somewhere, you don't want to see it burned to the ground. You actually care about your country. Every time you work, you're not a slave. You're protecting some industry as well as getting paid. That industry, if it doesn't have you, it's dead. Right. So if people don't go to work, they're dead. You do a massive strike, your country dies. Quick. But what do you want from the leftovers? Nothing? No food? No security? Just crime? Death? I don't think so.
Well, that's the way it's going. I mean, I'm glad I moved out of Illinois.
Yeah.
Because
now that shit, though. It can happen when you don't want it. You don't want that. You don't want that. That's not something you want.
Just look at what's going on in the state of Illinois, man. Non-jailable offenses. Murder. You can kill someone and they won't put you in jail for it.
These people want lawlessness. You're going to have supervillains.
They want lawlessness so it can help them push their agenda.
Do you really want a supervillain having to protect you? Do you really want a real A-team to show up at your doorstep to protect you against some corrupt individuals? We'll show up. We're the ones. We're the A-team. I love that show, by the way.
Well, this guy put it perfectly the other day. And it was, this school, they're making it a gun-free zone. Right. And they're putting up signs that say this school is a gun-free zone. And no one, even the police officers, if they come to the school, they can't carry their guns on the school ground. No form of security at this school at all. And this guy says, now, what if a criminal comes up to the school? Right. He's going to see that gun-free zone sign. He ain't going to give a shit. And then what are you going to do? You're going to call the cops. Why? Because they have a gun.
Now, let's just say you were the cop and I was the villain. If you can't shoot me and I got all the guns with my buddies, you're going to run away.
You know what? I'll tell you what, I don't even have to be a cop. If I hear that someone's shooting up the school down the street from me,
yeah, you're gonna go in that.
I'm gonna go in and who's shooting these kids?
Yeah,
now, don't hold me to that if it ever does happen, because in that kind of moment,
would you
never really honestly know how you're gonna act and react to those kinds of situations.
Would you be the hero or you be the one joining in trying to take out the kids? It really. That's where it boils down to. The heat of, they call it in war. Because we were talking, these are war terms. So we're sorry to entertain you on these war concepts, but basically in war, that's the test. It's test by fire. You're tested by the fire of what you experience. And if you experience gunshots, that's your ass. That's going to show what you're made of. Because you're risking your ass trying to do that.
But going back to this, and I agree with this guy. And my personal opinion on this is, for every single school in America, should have 2 retired military, active, the reserves, something as an armed security for the school.
The military, she wants a military vets protecting your team.
Keep America employed, give them a job, give them something to do. Because you know how many homeless veterans we have in America, and it's not always their fault.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I already see the future. In 20 years from now, I already know how it's going to be protected. I mean, I don't want to scare you people, but it's not that scary. It's called joysticks. And I think you'll understand in 20 years. I bet you what you're going to see is you're going to see a bunch of kids, about 15 to 23, and they get in these jobs, and all they do is they take people that try to invade their areas, spaces with droids or with whatever communicators, air droids, whatever, and they'll be pretty much smacking the shit out of them with those things, because you can use non-lethal deterrents like pepper spray or pepper bombs coming out of the air. Get out of my property.
Well,
I will use violent force. I will stun you with my stun gun.
That's the way it's pretty much going. You know, I mean, in the future, wars are going to be fought by a kid sitting at a computer flying a remote controlled drone.
On a joystick, yes. I've already foreseen the future. If it happens in war, it goes back to civilians, and that's what they defend themselves with in the future. It's just like when we got the real thing of, oh, you got a camera at your door? Like, yes, I can see you. Well, the next phase is having the droids, be it air droids, or even those, dude, you know those robots I love? You know ones I love? You know what I'm talking about? Those dog robots? Ooh, they're good robots. They are strong, they can dance. Have you seen those robots that can dance? They are great security items.
Well, and that's what worries, that's another thing that, you know, worries me is all the cameras right here in the studio.
Yeah, Laserbeak and Ravage. Remember Ravage and Laserbeak on Transformers? We got them. We got Ravage. We got Laserbeak. Just think of the air droid being Laserbeak, and consider Ravage one of those Boston Instruments, whatever the hell, those orange things, those rowers. You know what I'm talking about? No heads, though. They can go open door crap. We got those. Small ones, big ones, medium-sized ones. They got them all different sizes and shapes.
And it scares me.
They're coming. They're here.
No, I'm telling you what really scares me is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's at least 6 cameras in this studio, and they're all hooked on my Wi-Fi network.
Yeah.
I know. I'm 99% sure, you know, I'm the only person that has access to the feeds on these cameras. But somewhere in the back of my mind, something tells me that there's some little pimple-faced drone sitting in a government office somewhere watching, flipping through everyone in the world's camera feeds, looking for anyone sitting around smoking pot, talking to Troy Anderson on a Sunday fun day.
It's fun. It's fun. I mean, you just got to watch how you talk. I mean, take, for instance, your AIs. Now, they're supposed to be sending beings now. Now, you talk about the one that got citizenship. You know what I mean? You know, so like that kind of situation where people are giving citizenships to robots, to AI, it's already happened. They're considered sentient beings. Wow, that's the world we live in, and we don't recognize that enough. We really don't. It's been a few years since she's been considered a human being-like sentient being. They can turn her off and turn her on. She's considered alive. So see the robot. She's been on the Tonight Show, for God's sake.
Well,
it doesn't seem to affect the overall culture of society that we have robots having citizenship.
Here's what I question. Those lifelike, human-like robots.
Citizenship.
Now you're giving them citizenship. That's just fucking weird. Here's my question. What is the real purpose of creating them?
The real purpose is so when we die as a species by our nukes or by our diseases, we have something to leave behind us in our technology. All our technology will be lost and the universe will not have any remembrance of us.
So these robots will be recreating more robots for future generations.
And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, we have Dan who's ready to come on. Do you want to give him the new address, Chris?
I'll go ahead and send it to him. You got it.
All right, cool. So, ladies and gentlemen, from the great state of New Hampshire, we'll have
New Hampshire.
Yes, New Hampshire.
That's where they get to Worcestershire.
All right, cool.
I heard they got some good maple syrup up there too. Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, all up there bordering with Canada. Ooh.
We're using Zoom, right? It's Zoom, right?
Dude. Yeah. This whole time I've been sitting here wondering where I can get a good solid chunk of maple. And I got all kinds of friends up in the northeast corner where maple is really popular.
All right, so hopefully Dave will be on. But you get the idea with the robots. I mean, I was driving at home with Lauren from Bad Baron, and because he was dealing with the energy crisis. Let's bring this up. Let's bring some stuff back up, because before we're done, we want to kind of rehash what we've done. So we've had 2 shows, right, Chris? We've had the Show of the Dead. We've had we've had Lauren from
Bad Baron
in Finland. We both have over 100 views. Even the top part 2 that wasn't seen as much starting to get views. I think it's about 20 views now. In 2 weeks, we went from 0 to something. Pretty fast.
Yeah.
And so what I'm thinking is, when we kind of kindle it, it's like this fire I made. I only took a match and I had all this like propane. I had propane. I had like all this fuel on the fire, right? It was a lot of wood.
Propane and propane accessories.
Yeah, all this stuff was. It just it ignited. It got huge, and that's kind of like what happens when you get views. You get like 200, and eventually it's 1,000, and 1,000 becomes 5,000, 5,000 becomes 10,000. It's a number effect.
Pretty soon, before you know it, people are listening, and we still don't know what the fuck we're talking about.
And I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. As long as we look good and we know we feel good, and we were confident what we're saying is, to our best ability, the truth.
Oh yeah.
We're being true to ourselves, at least. And as a journalist, that's all you can really expect for yourself. All you're doing is you're taking a story in, you're delivering your response to it, your editorial, right?
Yep.
And you're giving your best opinion and subjective information that you can follow up. I think a lot of the Tim Pools, they're too detail oriented. They should go with the current news. Like, I'll get something from Tim Pool, I'll hear it, I might report it. Or I hear something from somebody else, I'll report it. Joe Rogan did something. I have no problem rehashing what they did, if it's newsworthy.
Right.
What the hell is?
And in a lot of ways, what we're doing is technically a little bit of gonzo journalism.
Yeah, and that's nothing wrong with that either.
Fuck no, you gotta love the good doctor.
Right, we need that kind of stuff right now, because we don't. If not only do we need gas masks in the future, which makes a great icon for my logo, but you can see it here. Oh shit, we got a rock star on Asgard Radio Shop Talk International. We have Dan. Please introduce yourself. You're from New Hampshire, correct?
I am. How's it going, everybody? I'm Dan Robinson from the band Shroud of Bereavement and owner of the record label Willow Soul Productions. I'm here in New Hampshire. I just came in and I have no idea what you guys are talking about, but I see the gas masks and it's very relative to these times. I'll tell you that.
What we'll do is we'll mark the time. We'll do our pre-recording and doing a live feed. So, Chris,
we're just pre-recording. I couldn't get it going for the live feed. I don't know what the hell is going on, but it was really starting.
We'll mark the time real fast. We'll do that clip. We'll know what time you're on. It's 2:24 Pacific time. That would be 4:24 Central time.
Oh, it is 4:24. Woohoo!
4:20, dude.
We got you on at 4:20-ish.
Perfect. Looks like he's taking advantage of that.
Oh,
well, I have one too, but it's outside, and I was already doing the doobie. But I go to work. But let's rehash. Chris, more rehash.
Okay.
We're going to talk to Dave here, and we were rehashing our show. Maybe we can rehash a little bit what you guys have been doing with your band. Let's tell the world a little more about yourself and when you guys get started, and what's the future plan for your act.
I started the band in like 1996. It's neoclassical death doom metal with violins and cellos. It's progressive. It's kind of cross genre. It's all over the place. We just put our album out back in July 25th. I put a new video out last week, which is really relative to the gas chamber, all this virus. It's real triggering, but people should check that out if they want to get triggered.
Right on.
Nothing wrong getting triggered. Tell your story.
And we actually already have a huge community right where you're at in Manchester, New Hampshire, with Han Solo and the Northeast Metal Alliance and
okay.
6x12, Sepsis, all them Northeastern corner bands.
Huh.
Yeah, see, he's in Kentucky. I'm in Tacoma, Washington. So we've got a couple of stations.
So how'd you guys hook up?
We've been around for about 2 years, me and Chris, since Eric left the show.
Well, I'm saying you guys
Roughly,
are on opposite parts of the country. How'd you meet?
Internet. You
That'll
know,
do
that's that's why I say, you know, sometimes meeting people on the internet's kind of a crapshoot. I met my wife on the internet.
Me too. Me too.
Okay, I actually met my wife through MySpace.
Me
and
too.
a lot of hell yeah, right on. But a lot of the people I meet, you know, I meet through the internet and social media, and I got people that have, this is how we've talked for the last 2 years. We've never met in person. Like my buddy Heath up in Maine, Troy, you know, we talk to people in Finland, Ireland, Germany, all over the world.
Hell yeah.
But I sit here in the studio. Someday I'm going to get out on a big, huge fucking road trip and go meet everybody.
Anytime, man. You're welcome to come here. I live out on 6 acres of New Hampshire woods. Come on down. We'll party.
Oh, hell yeah. Now,
Fuck yeah.
so you're up in northern Maine, northern New Hampshire then?
Actually, southeastern. I'm on the Mass border. I'm about 30 minutes.
So you're
from
south of Manchester.
Yeah, I'm 22 minutes from Manchester, east.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Because I love looking at shit on maps and whatnot. And someday me and my wife, we've actually got a eastern seaboard trip kind of planned. I'd like to actually start in Bangor, Maine, and try to meet Stephen King.
Haha, hell
And
yeah.
then just travel down the East Coast, seeing all the cool old colonial shit in Salem, Massachusetts, Boston, Philadelphia, shit like that.
Hell yeah. It's a good area, man. You could spend weeks on the mountains and Salem, like you said, all the places around here.
Right. Well, and of course, you got to hit Salem at Halloween time.
Oh no, man, the traffic is so bad. It'll take you 4 hours to find a parking spot.
Uber.
Uber, yeah, there you go. It's
See?
like, dude, there's like miles of people walking. It's wicked cool. Everybody's dressed up in their outfits and it's spooky and all that shit. It's cool, but the traffic is a nightmare.
Right. Well, thanks to the power. I mean, thanks to the power of the internet, another good thing. You got your phone, you got a ride.
Absolutely. Yeah, the times are crazy. It's funny that you mentioned meeting your wife on it's the exact same. My wife's from Romania and she's like, hey, you sing for my favorite band, and we started talking, and that's how I met her.
Oh, right on. I met my wife on MySpace, and it turns out I actually lived right across town from her and walked
Whoa.
into her work every single day. And I was like, wow.
That's crazy how small the world is.
Yeah.
Really. So I see I was talking to your partner here. I was looking at your studio. I'm like, man, that looks kind of like my room. We had the same kind of setup. You had the desk on the other side when I was looking at the video, but
Okay.
pretty cool. So you
Yeah,
play music?
I make noise, and I, like musicians. I mean, you guys music has brought so many different things in my life, and it's always been there for me. So even though I know how to play 4 chords, I can't put them together to make a song to save my life. But
Just gotta try.
yeah.
Smoke a little more weed, write some riffs, dude. That's it.
Well, I got
Yeah.
a couple. I got a couple of my own riffs I've made, but my wife can only listen to them for 3 hours before she starts screaming to put it away, and then I'll put it away. And
A year later, yeah. Because
yeah,
the older you get, the less time you have too,
right.
for sure.
I try to wait till she goes to work, but
Yep.
sometimes our schedules line up and there's not enough time.
Absolutely. So you're down, where are you from? Kentucky, you said?
I'm
Central
originally I'm originally from Iowa, but I spent a good portion of the early mid 2000s traveling up and down the West Coast and around there, and then just living in Illinois, about an hour and a half south of Chicago, and then about
Sorry.
and where I lived, it was perfect because it was small town America. But if I wanted city, it was right there. But
Yeah, yeah,
like I lived in a pop town. The population was 4,000 people, and it was surrounded by corn.
that's
But
cool.
but you get on the expressway, you drive even 30 minutes, you're in Joliet, and from there it's all city all the way up.
Not, yeah, that area is tough with the politics, though.
It
I
is,
can't,
and
I can't like go with them. You know what I mean? I can't
yeah,
ride that
and
train.
I was glad that we moved. We moved down to Kentucky about 3 years ago, so I could pretty much get my dream job. I work for a company. We build industrial sawmill equipment, and I'm gonna go around and set up this sawmill in West Virginia. And if it works out and goes well, we got places in New Hampshire, Pennsylvania, Michigan, uh, Washington State, Oregon.
Wow.
Basically, wherever logging and sawmill industry is popular, we have equipment.
Well, we definitely need to start manufacturing in our country. So that's a good start, man. We need to keep that going
It,
for
it,
sure.
it, it is. And the stuff we build, I mean, I've shared videos of our chop saws and whatnot. The blade of the chop saw we built, that chop saw would cut my house in half
Really huge,
without a
huh?
problem.
Holy shit. I'm a mason. I own a masonry business, and we have a lot of cool saw blades and shit, but something like that sounds pretty crazy. It must be like 10 feet tall or some shit.
The blade is 20 foot in diameter.
Holy shit. That's amazing. That's pretty
Yeah.
metal.
Yeah. That's what I said. I breathe metal all day, and
Fuck yeah.
because I'm not allowed to talk about it too much, but we basically build them from scratch, cut the parts out on the plasma table, get them cleaned up for the builders, machine shop to make all the parts, and then painter, and then I'm trying to be the assembly crew.
Cool, man. Yeah. Fuck yeah.
I've
I was
always
working
had
class, baby. It's all
hell
about
yeah.
it.
I got it because of my brother-in-law, and he's been there for 20 years. He's about to retire in a couple years, but it's people down here that know where I work. They're like, "Oh yeah, dude, keep that job. Don't fuck, yeah."
Don't
Nope.
fuck that up. Yeah.
But the bosses at the same time, they're cool as hell. I ended up with COVID, and I was out of work for 5 days, but they were cool as shit about it.
Nice. That's cool. That's really important. If you
Yeah.
got asshole bosses, you don't want to go to work, then it ain't gonna work,
All right. Oh no, I work for some really good people. They hand out random. I've worked there for 6 months, and I've already gotten a raise plus at least 700 in bonuses.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That's sweet.
Oh yeah. And you run a. You said you're a mason.
Unfortunately, yes, 30 years almost.
Unfortunately, see, I don't know about the actual job itself, but the Masons halls down here, there's quite a bit of them, and I always thought they were pretty cool guys.
It depends, I've had some really cool guys I work with, and I've worked with some douchebag hacks too, so it really depends on who you hook up with,
Right.
But it's a noble trade, just like anything, you gotta know what you're doing to do it. That's a cool upright. Is that a cello or is that a bass?
That's an upright bass.
Nice.
I actually have had a couple people, let me play your bass. Okay, buy me strings for it.
That's the big problem, right? Getting them on there.
Well, just buying them. I mean, the guy I got it from, he said, now remember, it's when you go to buy strings, they're going to be the most expensive pair of strings you've ever bought in your life. I'm like, okay. I mean, I've paid $40 for a set of strings. And I thought that was too much, but then I looked that up, and $120 to get it strung up.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
That's expensive. Holy
Yeah,
shit.
that's just for everything to get it strung up, and then figure out what I'm doing or call someone that knows what they're doing, because you gotta get the centerpiece in the body just right before you put the bridge on and put the strings on. If not, you'll crush the whole body. And
oof. Yeah, that's a work in progress, I'd
yeah.
assume. When I win the mega bucks, maybe I'll get my bass strung.
Give me about another year at my job, and hopefully I'll be making the right amount of money to be able to do stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah, totally. That's cool, man.
So someday. But all in all, I mean, I got that up right there, and then the red one on the wall behind me, it's Epiphone signed by Vince Neil.
Nice,
I
nice.
paid $100 for the guitar, and just so happened to be in the right place, right time.
Fuck yeah.
And then the crate bass, I think that one was given to me. I ended up tossing the kid like $20. And then the acoustic was given to me by my brother. And then that Dean dime blade, even the guy at Dean wants it, and he's jealous because I was at work and I was getting ready to get off in like 10-15 minutes, and I had a couple bucks in my pocket. So I'm like, let's see what's on Marketplace. That was on Marketplace for $100. I told the kid, dude, I got $75 and I can meet you at this location in 20 minutes. Okay, sold.
Hell yeah.
So
Hell
yeah.
I got the Randy Rhodes, the Jackson RR1.
Okay.
I got like 9 guitars in here. But V's are nice. The
Oh,
balance,
yeah.
playing live, you know, they stand up just right.
Right. Well, anymore, I just kind of leave it there. But yeah, I called the guy at Dean because I wanted a coffin case for it. And he's like, well, I can get you one for $150 plus shipping. I'm like, well, that's twice what I played for the guitar.
Yeah.
He's straight up, damn, what kind of crackheads you dealing with? Facebook Marketplace, buddy.
That's funny shit. Wow. Good deal though, man. Hell yeah.
Well, and then the upright actually came about because my wife said no more guitars. I said, okay, I won't get any more guitars. And then I brought that thing home, and what the hell is that? It's not a guitar.
That's it. Hell yeah. My wife keeps buying me guitars, man. I don't know what's up with that. I'm lucky.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. She just bought this thing for me a couple months ago.
Well, that's nice.
Jackson Kelly.
Oh yeah.
I put
like
a post
that.
on Facebook like, oh man, I want that guitar. And she just bought it for me, like out of nowhere. I was like, holy shit, I'm a lucky man. And she bought me she got me a Fender Strat too. It's in
you hear that, people? If you tell her what you want,
just say, I want that. And it just magically appeared. I was like, hell yeah, made my day, man. My wife's awesome. She took care of me.
Oh yeah. Well, I found a rolling tray I want. I told my wife, and she said, well, then order it.
That's a start, man. Next thing you know, you'll be getting guitars.
I don't know if I'll be getting any more of those anytime soon. Although I have stated that I've always wanted a Rickenbacker.
Oh,
and recently I thought about this long and hard. And I've actually studied, and I got a web page, and I got a blueprint thing here for a Rickenbacker guitar. If I could build the body, I would order all the components, all that stuff from Rickenbacker itself, and just build my own homemade Rickenbacker for
half the money. Yeah, well, less than half.
Less than half the money. I mean, like probably $300.
That's the way to roll.
Electronics.
Yeah, you do that shit, so you could, you know, get that song right at work, man.
Oh yeah, I just need to find the right place with the right kind of wood, because you know I want it to be their specific kind of wood. They use a white maple, so that's what I'd have to find, and that'd probably be the most expensive part of it.
Yeah. Yep, the stock.
Hey, let me ask you a question. So you got a few releases coming out, I saw. Yeah.
Yeah, we just put an album out in July 25th. Okay. And the label just put out a Dark Passenger album. I've got 2 more in the works for the Shroud of Bereavement, and it might be another Dark Passenger. And I'm also working with a couple other bands, hopefully.
Any songs or artists you like to give credit to? So we are kind of publicizing this.
As far as like influence, you mean?
Or just choose you want to credit, or anything. Yeah, anything you want to credit from the album's releases.
Well, I'll definitely credit Dan Swano for mastering my last album. He did a phenomenal job. I don't know if you know who he is, but he's like the
Well,
GOAT.
that's nice. So if you could, it'd probably help him if people know more about him. So yeah, go ahead. Enlighten the public.
Dan Swano is the original singer slash songwriter for the band Edge of Sanity from Sweden. He was also in Panthymodium. He was the engineer, the master engineer for Catatonia, for Opeth. He sang for
Yeah, we have to have a more European crowd too. So a lot of people from Finland or Scandinavia will be watching this more than America.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Hell yeah.
We're national, so
Nice, man. Yeah. Dan Swano is the GOAT. He really is like
good. And we'll go over that a little bit. So he's been doing this for how long, and who has he worked with? I guess
early 90s. I mean, Edge of Sanity's probably got 7 or 8 albums out.
7. Wow.
At least. And he did like, Panthymodium, Moon Tower, he's Odyssey. He's been in so many projects. Nightingale.
We're talking not just a sound engineer, we're talking actual producer, I take it, right?
Producer, engineer, musician, singer, guitarist, drummer. He does everything. The guy does everything, and he's got the ear. He can make anything sound good.
He has his own studio that he works out of, or
Unisound Studio. That's where his studio in Sweden, Stockholm, Sweden, I believe.
Beautiful place.
Oh
So
yeah, I've never been there.
Would that be someone where a Sabaton or someone like of the equivalent would mind checking out?
He's probably worked on those albums.
Yeah.
Really?
I bet. Yeah, I bet he did.
Really?
If you go to his page, it's like 900 bands that he's worked on albums over the years.
I mean, the singers from like Czechoslovakia, from Prague, I believe. My friend Peter Sermon told me about that. And I went to NAMM this year. I went to LA, and I got a chance to talk to a lot of artists. I didn't get a chance to, and I was able to open my eyes to what's going on in California when it comes to music scene. But I'm kind of also trying to build that bridge between Northwest and Europe, because I think that one thing with the COVID thing, and I think you probably realize, we kind of lost about 2 years of good shows.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And so it's coming back now, but we're kind of like the journalists and the artists going and reporting what's happening now,
A lot of releases came out though, because people had time to make albums, So that's kind of
I actually be coming out with some stuff too. Unfortunately, I had some issues, but yeah, a lot of the stuff has been pushed to next year, or just a real nice pre-releases in the fall, which is going on.
Yeah, I'm looking forward, man.
And then you're the one. Bad Baron, we just had on from Finland. They just released something. So you'll be the second release person we've had on this week, basically.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, and we're always looking for independent bands that want airplay. Send us your music, and we'll put you in rotation on AsgardRadio.com.
Or how old or young. I mean, releases are releases,
Yeah.
and see that information out there for the general public so that they get the news out.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I mean, my band Charter Breedman has 7 releases out.
Yeah, bring them on. I mean, we're willing to talk to whoever wants to publicize their stuff. We have a international reach. Chris, you want to enlighten them a little bit what Asgard does for DJs and stuff, where we're at?
We have. Okay, so I'm in Kentucky. Our owner, Jim, he's in northwestern Indiana, and then we have another DJ in Florida, one in Pennsylvania, and we're waiting for one on the East Coast to get started. We have another one in Poland, and then another one in northwestern Illinois. So we all look for our local independent, the bands you don't hear getting radio play on your local radio stations, and we put them on Asgard.
Cool. Yeah, no, that's a great thing you're doing. It's needed for sure,
Plus, when bands go touring around the United States and whatnot, they can go to the Asgard Radio website, and we have Asgard Connect, which is people who, when you're on tour and you're paying for hotels every night and staying in the bus every night, it gets old. Sometimes you just want a home cooked meal and a place to take a shower and do some laundry, watch some TV. Go to AsgardRadio.com, Asgard Connect, and we have people all across the United States that will have an extra room or two for bands on the road.
That's amazing. That's really awesome.
Oh, yeah. And Jim, our owner, he is a veteran. He served in the first Gulf War.
Thank you so much for your service. Let me say that. right out to him.
So, you know, we are also really supportive of our veterans and everything they do for us and keeping
Good.
our free speech network going.
Yeah, they need all the support they can get right now.
Oh, yeah.
In fact,
Stuff
we
out
were
there.
just talking about free speech issues before we got you on. We're kind of
Okay.
going over the big case that happened 2 days ago, which is big news for everybody. I think for anybody who's an artist, a singer, a talker on radio, a big case was won in court against censorship against all social media companies. So that was a case that was just came out 2 days ago. So it's gonna be big news. I mean, could change the way we see things on Facebook or on YouTube or on Twitter.
Yeah,
Big-
you know, all that stuff that happened with the president back in 2016, you know, Trump's.
It's a good
what they
ruling. I
did
mean, this ruling could actually change everything that's happened 2 days ago. That Facebook has to go up. Can't do that. It's against law. So
That's really good news for sure, man. I was really pissed off, and you know, as an artist slash just guy that's generally into politics and stuff, I got
I just
banned like
thought it's
17
cool. I was kind of go, wow, ruling gives us the freedom to say F you to Facebook and get away with it on their own platform, because their platform, the way that they kind of describe it in the law is they made road on something that would have been made by somebody else. And by you trying to prophesize on road that had to be made, it'd be the equivalent of basically being monopolizing the railroad or monopolizing roads or
Right.
monopolizing flow of water. You don't have the right to do that anymore. That's a utility. Sorry.
Absolutely awesome, dude. Like I was banned 17 times in the last 2-3 years because
now
of
you
my
can still.
politics.
And what's going to happen is Rumble's going to take over.
I love
obviously.
Rumble.
Rumble just got picked up with Andrew Tate, one of the biggest social media figure for males' rights. He was banned on YouTube and a few other things, but then they paid him just like did Joe Rogan with Spotify. That's also brand new, two weeks ago. And now Rumble's stock is going up like a rocket ship, and is the alternative of Facebook. And Rumble will probably take over as the leading social media in 2 to 3 years. I mean, Facebook will shop around. Like, less the lawsuits, bring them down.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. I mean, if they make this law, then it's going to kind of bring up Facebook and all them.
Lawsuits. We're talking civil lawsuits in the billions of dollars.
Oh, good. I fucking hate. So I don't know if I can swear, but I fucking hate Facebook.
Good.
Hate it.
Go ahead.
You know,
I
my
can't say,
you on YouTube too. You
Yeah.
have the freedom to say F you. That's right. Fuck you. That's
Exactly.
I post on YouTube. I make sure, you know, I post my videos. Granted, I try to be kid friendly and whatnot, but you know, we cuss, we swear. I'm smoking, so you know, I mean,
Yeah, we're adults, yeah.
I make sure that kids aren't watching my videos.
No one knows what's in my coffee or not in my coffee. There's nothing in my coffee, by the way.
Well, the big thing too is all around. It's the town square. But you know, I promote my business, I promote my bands through Facebook, and then they ban you, and then you lose money. You know what I mean? It happened to me.
Suits will occur. Rumble will take over. Facebook will have to put themselves on the knees. Finally, they were putting us on the knees. Now it's time for the karma to go back on them, and they will be on their social and legal knees.
Hell yeah, that's Dan Bongino, right? Rumble.
Yeah, Rumble is going to be the biggest.
Well, recording stopped. Recording.
Yeah, I don't know what
We're
happened.
in second part.
Oh,
Part
okay.
2. Welcome
Oh.
back. It's part 2. Part 2 going on here, Chris. So I guess you got cut twice. So we're gonna do part 2, I guess, here. So we're good.
Yep. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am Chronic Chris.
Part 2 being
AsgardRadio.com.
more about Dan and more about which band? You got 2 bands. All right. You there?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, cool. So we got signing in. We're signing in now. So anyway, so let's discuss Dan a little more. We're on the second half. So again, your bands that you're promoting, the releases, and what you've been doing lately.
I am the main man behind Shroud of Bereavement, which is neoclassical death doom metal. I play guitar and sing in Dark Passenger, which is blackened death doom metal. I'm putting a new project together, which is called Still the Seas, which is going to be more melodic, moody kind of metal with some progressive elements. got a record label, and I'm working with some other bands. I can't really say yet because I haven't got 100% on anything, but I'll be releasing some other bands and more of my music. I have 2 new Shroud albums in the works, a DVD, possibly another Dark Passenger, and Still the Seas. So I'm in 3 projects.
One more time, you have a new release, and you were crediting your producer that helped you get this going.
Yeah, the new album came out just over a month and a half ago. It's called A Beautiful Winter. The name of my band is Shroud of Bereavement. It's 57 minutes of melodic doom metal with cellos and whatnot, and it was mastered by Dan Swano.
Awesome.
Who's in, Dan Swano's. Why is my computer moving weird? All right, so Dan Swano is the GOAT of all mastering, engineering, metal. The guy's fucking awesome. Check him out.
New Hampshire, did you have to go to his studio? I mean, how far is he from you?
No, actually, I engineered it with a guy named Daniel Flores, who moved to Chile, and we sent a bunch of shit back and forth on the internet. And then I got everything, and then I sent it to Sweden, and he did all of his thing and sent it back to me. So we did it all through the power of the internet.
I was going to say, you're not in Sweden, even though we do a lot of international interviews.
Yeah, no, I wish. I'm Swedish, man. I wish I could go to Sweden. I've never been there.
So how do you think about that Swedish connection? I mean, is it something else to know that you have the fine hands of Stockholm taking care of your stuff?
It was like, dude, a dream come true, because I've been friends with him a long time, but I didn't know if he'd actually want to, work with me. But he said, yeah, definitely. And I mean, it's a paying gig, so I'm sure he's just, yeah.
Is it going to be an international flags, like an America connection with Sweden, I guess? So the good that Sweden did again.
Hell yeah, Sweden for president.
Yeah, we're international, so like the name is says Shop Talk International Interview. So it's like I consider this a win. I call this a bridge win, because like you met him, he met you, and like somehow you created this, in a cooperation, or whatever you want to call it. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, he did the mastering. I guess you could say I produced it.
Collaborate with it. Yeah, he collaborated.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. What do you think, Chris? It's like they created a baby from Sweden to America, New Hampshire, all the way to Stockholm. What do you think?
Hell yeah.
You call it a New Hampshire Stockholm baby?
A
And
hybrid.
from the great state of New Hampshire.
The
Where
granite
are you
state.
in New Hampshire, by the way, so I know? What city or region or area?
I'm in Sandown, New Hampshire.
What's that like?
I'm a really small town. There's about 8,000 people here. Like I said, I live on 6 acres of woods. It's awesome. I got cool neighbors and not many neighbors, so that's a good thing. We can open carry our guns and drink and
Nice.
shoot guns outside and not get shit from anybody. It's a beautiful state. We have mountains and
That'd be awesome. That's awesome. I know Chris would probably like to interview him about that one.
Hell yeah.
He can shoot.
And he's just east of Manchester, New Hampshire.
Yeah.
So you're just off the Atlantic Ocean.
yes, I'm 25
Wow,
minutes
that's
from the
a
ocean.
view, bro. You guys have a good view of the water and all
We got the ocean, we got mountains, we got everything.
Oh
Hell
my
yeah.
goodness. People out there.
And we got decent politics too. So it's a nice place to, no taxes. We have no taxes, no state tax.
Oh, that's
I think,
awesome.
Wow.
when you
Someone
work,
on that boat, man. That's the state to be in, man.
no taxes
Shit.
come out of your payroll. There's no payroll tax in New Hampshire.
That's awesome.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. Now I want to move to New Hampshire. Wow.
It's the greatest place in the world to live, man. I love it here. Love it.
And you're openly promoting your state, knowing that far well that people are going to start moving in your backyard. Hey, he said it was the best. We got to go.
Yeah, well, we gotta take care of our borders first, because everybody's gonna come here and ruin my state.
Okay. Okay.
Here's the most important question about each and every state. How much does a pack of cigarettes cost in New Hampshire?
Yes.
Oh, that is a good question. Actually, yeah, you go down to Massachusetts, it's way more. Right now, they're like $7.50, which is still expensive for where you're at, I bet, right?
Not me. 13
no?
bucks.
$13?
13.
Holy shit, dude.
Washington
That's almost
State.
half.
Yeah,
Almost
we
half.
got a lot of tax. We got tax on everything. Tax on your
Damn.
clothes, tax on your gas, tax on everything they can tax. They tax.
How much is gas there though, where you're at?
$6.50 sometimes, between $6.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow, it's $3.45 where I'm at, and which is really high.
Cheapest gas you're gonna find here is like about close to $5, and that's cheap gas. Like good gas, six to 6.5.
I think
Damn.
ours was at 339 the other day.
Yeah, Kentucky.
I don't know. I normally don't really pay attention to gas prices because it's just one of those things that I'm gonna
First on
need
the
it
west and the
anyways.
east. The east is having it easy. The west is
I just bought a new
And-
truck yesterday because of gas prices. Actually, I have 2
Yeah.
vehicles now.
your gas prices are actually where we were 5 years ago. So you're cheaper than we were 5 years ago.
Well, like maybe 4 months ago, it was like almost $5. It was just gone down again, you know.
Yeah, you guys are the high price. We shit. California, I saw once, what was it, 660 something, 66, like 666. But I seen it like way up there, close to $7 almost in California in the summer.
Oh, California's like communist bullshit. That whole state sucks.
yeah.
Full of, oh, I
Well,
hate their
governor is
policy.
pretty much the same. He can be in office as long. He has no term limits in this state, so he can reign as king and governor of this state
Oh,
because he's got it all rigged. I'll be the first one to say this state is rigged. It's not.
absolutely, man. That's why people are leaving in record numbers. Everybody's leaving
Put it
California.
this way, they don't vote in this state. This city, they elected a mayor for less than 15,000 people. I'm not
Really?
talking about how much she won. She only got like 7,000 votes. Only
Holy
15,000 people of a population of 1.7 million voted.
I didn't know that. That's disgusting.
They burn their tickets. They burn their ballots. They destroy their ballots. It's straight up corruption.
That's what they're trying to do now with
Vote.
you know, that
They
it's
gotta
funny how
vote.
I don't
Doesn't
know what
count.
your politics are, but if you look at what the
They're
Democrats are
communists.
trying to
They're
Huh?
communist.
absolutely. Absolutely. I'm
No,
saying
they
you're
tell you in the face. I'm a comrade. You're a comrade. We are in the new state of communist Washington State. We're commies.
hey, can we go to Chaz? Do you remember Chaz?
What's that? Oh yeah, Seattle. And they took that little bit of land. They called it-
Yes, that's what it was called.
Oh, it's Chaz.
that was amazingly stupid.
And what was it
Man,
called?
the policies are
Didn't they
so
do it?
backwards.
I thought
Oh, God,
what
that
was the
was
one in
first time.
Portland,
Oh, God.
Oregon?
Oh,
The whole West Coast is fucked.
They
Absolutely.
try to burn their own cops while the cops were in the gas station in their station. They
They're
literally
fucked.
tried the Joker move. Like they wanted to be the Joker. They were literally going to burn pigs in a blanket. They were going to make pigs in a blanket by burning cops in their own cop shop. They nearly did it in Portland,
Unbelievable
Oregon.
shit that's going on. I can't believe it's
Well,
even happening. I don't how the fuck
and the
do they
most and
pass that
hey,
shit?
here's the
It's called
fucked up
inaction.
thing though. Here's the fucked up thing though, is if the Republicans, the Trump supporters would do that, then they're calling in the National Guard and all that other shit. But
Oh yeah, you'd be
it's
fascist,
the-
racist regime.
yeah, but it's it's pretty much the Democrats that are fucking doing it, and their political leaders
Absolutely.
are encouraging them to do it. But yet, when
I'll take it one step further.
a bunch of Republican Americans go to the Capitol and do what the Constitution actually says they are legally allowed to do, all
Yep.
of a sudden there's a big problem and people are going to jail and they're putting fences up and
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Washington.
every
DC.
single thing, everything that the left was bitching about that Trump was going to become, the Democrats are. You know what I mean? Oh, look out. Trump's a racist, Trump's a fascist, he's going to do this and that. And now we're in World War. Our open borders, the production of oil is gone. Like we're a fucking disaster now. And look for what Trump's gonna do. And now look what
see, and
Biden has done.
It's,
You know what I
it's
mean?
worse than that, Dan. I mean, we were discussing about the fall of civilization and collapse of civilization. What
Well,
happens after that?
and
And
for those
I'm a journalist, and I'm looking at scratch stuff, and it's bad. It's really bad.
Yeah, everybody's gonna have guns. That's all I know. You need
well, and
guns.
half the shit that's
Hey,
being
it's not
done
that, but also it's
today.
about awareness. what they want you to do. Their intention. They're not just normal communists.
Oh no, I'm saying when it's gone, those with guns are the only ones going to survive.
Well, yeah, that's pretty much that's what's binary. But
Well,
I'm
he
saying
also
you got to know
he
the
also
intention
said
of
the
these
other day to all you
Yeah.
gun owners in the United States, you're going to need a couple F-15s, if you want to take on the U.S.
Yeah,
government.
fuck him.
Dude, are you basically threatening
No,
citizens?
no, 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 no. No. We're talking a little bit here. No. We just gotta follow what the Ukrainians did. You get a few teenagers from remote controls. You get your nice little droids. You can buy it in a Kmart store. Used to be around back in the day. You put a few missiles or bombs in those things. You can take down the U.S. military just like the Ukrainians took down the Russians.
Well, you got to remember too, half the military are us. We're not
Yeah,
going
we
to
could
attack
take down
ourselves.
ourselves. We could take down ourselves. They call that you're exiting one emperor for another. And so
Yeah.
what happened when the fall of Rome occurred, this is like when we hear the queen is dead, so God save the king. I mean, transitions occur.
Yeah,
They occur all the time.
it's coming. We're in the middle of it right now.
We're just in a transition. And so you have a few choices. Join the communists, and the end goal is to eat each other. Soylent Green is now being possibly being proposed that when you die, you are going to be consumed as meat. You will eat each eventually. It was going to. It happened to all of the great civilizations. Do you know that the Polynesians that discovered Easter Island, when their civilization died 1,000 years later, they became cannibals. They ate each other. The Mayans,
The Polynesians
Atlantic,
also
South
were the
America,
original settlers in
civilization-
Hawaii.
mhm. And for some reason, they like eating each other when their civilization goes bad. Now,
Well,
Dwayne Johnson is Polynesian, by the way, so they would look like The Rock.
Well, here's
yeah.
You know what the image will look like. At least.
if you look at every empire throughout history, the Roman Empire, the Greek Empire, the Aztec Empire, even the Mongolians, who owned 2/3 of the world, every
Yeah.
empire that has come up has gone back down.
Yes.
Yep.
It
History
had just
repeats
a matter of
itself.
time. But the collapse is always different. Sometimes they scatter, and sometimes they feast upon the old bones of what was left behind.
What's
That's
fucked
what
up
we're-
is we're one of the most plentiful countries in the whole world, and
That
we're
will be
making our
feasted upon.
farmers stop farming. They're making our production go to
What will happen
China.
is Mexico will invade our south, Canada will invade our north, Chinese will
Canada
invade
ain't
our
gonna
west.
invade nothing.
I don't know about Canada. Yeah, I don't know
Yeah,
about Canada.
Canada, no.
Well, we're gonna
Their
invade
prime
Canada
minister,
then.
their
We're gonna
prime
invade Canada.
minister went
So we'll
on
make this
television and they
All right, let's
said,
see
"Well,
what-
what's your army in Canada?" And Canada said, basically, the United States.
That's China, by the way. China.
It's in Canada. So they come down from Canada. They don't need to come from the west, they come down from Canada. So you got these two front war, Mexico and these. It doesn't matter about the region so much as the people evading. So you're gonna have one of these inner wars. And like he already talked about how he's got these old battlefields out there in Kentucky. So all you gotta do is look at the field of battle. Where hill is going to be a good place to hold a defensive position, what streams of contacts of your industries. What they do is they usually take down the bridges first and the railroad stations.
Hmm.
That's what they did in Ukraine. Took down a lot of down a lot of connectors. They call them choke points. They're doing that in Russia right now. Now, Eastern Europe is having to put mandates, putting people in jail. Like for instance, Switzerland. If your temperature gauge is over 65 in the wintertime, they can put you in jail because they have an energy shortage so bad they can't even heat their own citizens.
Oh man.
They will die of freezing this winter. And we're talking to our friend from Bad Baron. He's in Finland, and he's very affected by the war. And their energy is so bad now. He had to shut down his studio. He doesn't know how things are going to be, but all of Europe could go black in the next 6 months.
In the name of wokeism, save the planet. There's no crisis going on right now.
I wouldn't call that a wokeism. I would call that resource issues. We have
No, I'm saying the reason this is all happening is because they're trying
that's
to
the
save
reason.
the planet You know what I'm saying?
Sure,
Reduce
that's
carbon
overall
emissions.
generalism. That's overgeneralized. But the actuality is you're having water shortage, energy shortage, ports that are not being open.
But
The
there is
food
no
wrap-
shortage. That's what I'm, there is no shortage.
Well, that's
It's,
fine, but
it's a manufactured shortage.
Well, though it's gated up. It's gated up. I mean, they
It's
might
a
have
manufactured shortage because
Fine.
of global warming and emissions, saving, fossil fuels. It's all
fine.
manufactured.
That's
They're
fine,
making
but
this happen for the Great Reset, in my opinion.
fine. The intentions can be whatever, good or bad, but the simple fact is when you do not have those resources, it will affect people and people will
Yeah.
act upon it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That's just numbers of how many bellies are. And put it this way, there's an old saying: when civilization cannot feed itself, cannot shelter itself, cannot protect itself for 2 weeks, it goes straight into chaos mode, in survival mode. And that's
Right,
when you
yep.
have basically a fresh revolution. They were going to find the heads, the rich people. They will decapitate them. Literally, they have to. That's what happens in societies when you get to that point.
Mhm.
That's
Yep.
what happens. You look at your history, it's happened every time that way. People don't change because robots are there. They just know how to use the robots or get their ass killed by the robots. It's either one or the other.
Well, our money is devaluing as we speak. So I mean,
Money won't matter pretty soon. It'll be resources again, baby.
I'm saying once our economy crashes, the world is going to be a totally different fucking place, and nobody's ready for it.
Resources. You got to have what's on you is valuable. When the paper money and the debt is completely useless, when your money is useless, it's what you got. Your
That's
gold.
what I'm telling you. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Your food, your
we just
building,
lost
your public, whatever you want to call it. That's it.
Yeah, the global powers just shifted. The petrodollar is no longer. So we are the ones that are going to get going downhill. But the problem, the not problem is we have plenty of resources. The government's making us suppress that. You know what I mean? We have all the grains. We got oil up the ass. We got the shit that we need, but the government's making our farmers stop producing. That's what's going on.
It would be like this, and I hate to make an analogy this is terribly bad, but let's say that you were a pirate, right? The head pirate took all the gold and treasure and food and said, you're a pirate, you're going to starve until I get what I want.
Yeah.
That's basically what's going on.
It is. But I mean, for those that are self-sustainable, like, where I live, I've got a garden, I've got a well, I got my own water, I got my own food, I got my own guns. There's plenty of farmlands. I'm saying where I'm at should be all right. The cities are where the big riots are going to start.
Well, that in war it changes. That again, people keep on thinking the political thing.
Unless you're trying to skip forward to where the actual war starts. I mean, where we're at right now.
I've been studying war, my friend. I've studied war, and when it gets from transition of riot to war, when you go past the rioting aspect and you go straight into war, what happens is you have what called natural selection of fractions. So you have fraction groups fighting fraction groups first. They want to control their own area, like gangs, for example. You'll have certain control their territories. And then since the government ain't going to step in to fight these rebels, they're going in and taking over their land or their cities or their villages or wherever they're at. Since they're not doing anything, they'll just claim it as theirs. There's going to be conclaves everywhere. And what's going to happen is the government knows the only thing they could do to take out these leaders is use something like a ninja bomb. So then maybe they'll take out a leader here and there. Maybe they'll blow up a person and say, hey, leave us alone. Stop being so stupid. Be an American. But once you start assassinating your own citizens in your own country, instead of bringing in the law enforcement, you'll bring in the social aspect of that. Once you start assassinating people in your own country, that's when all hell breaks loose.
Yeah.
That's when it all ends. That's when you have full-on civil war. And there's going to be sides. There's going to be divided sides within the United States. You're going to truly have an ununited states. It's going to.
Well, we just saw. Remember when Biden did that speech with the red lights behind him, talking about how.
It won't matter about Biden much longer. The president himself will be decapitated from power. The Washington.
Wow, you're skipping over a lot of shit that hasn't happened yet.
It's going to happen though. It's going to happen fast because it always does happen fast. Because what's going to happen is the government, the main government is your federal government. And they'll step in before that shit happens. That's just how it is.
Yeah, you're
So,
talking elites like World Economic Forum.
yeah. Hey, what's up? But anyway, yeah, yeah, that's will happen. That will, I almost guarantee you that will happen. But it's still probably 6 or 7 years away. But the thing about it is everyone can see it happening. It's like watching a poor man fall from a cliffside.
Right.
You can see what projection it's going
But
down.
nobody's doing anything. Yeah.
You can't stop it at a certain level. It's at a point where you got a free fall in that situation. You can't stop unless you get a net to catch that person. It's over.
Well, we'll see what happens with the elections. First off, that's our only hope right now.
It could be a net saver. It could be a net multiplier. It could actually make more problems.
Potentially.
Because if nothing is accomplished in the elections and no one's feel any better, it might actually make it faster. So we know it's like someone tells you you're going to die. Okay, you got 7 days. We got 7 years. And we're going to do this experiment and see what happens. That's what's going to our nation. You know what I'm saying? That's what's happening in our nation. We are literally, it's going to go one way or the other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think
that's why the midterms.
I'm not trying to be like, like what they're saying, like, oh, freaked out, No, I'm being a current guy. I'm talking current now, not on information or currently.
Well, if you're being current, then you gotta say the steps that are gonna happen before this. The war hasn't happened. Civil war hasn't happened.
The step will occur, and it has occurred. With the social liberties going back and forth, with us constantly fighting each other about birth control, racism, sexism, what you can say, what you can't say. When these things divide and conquer people, at the end of the day, they're going to ask themselves two questions. Do I have enough food in my belly, and can I pay my rent, or can I pay my mortgage?
Yep.
Do I have a head over my head, or do I have a head under my head telling me I'm going to die? Am I going to live, or am I? When you're at a point where you are not enjoying your life as a citizen, if life itself is becoming a question of jeopardy, you're going to do what some Americans did with a little bit of money. They went to Mexico. It was like 1.6 million people have moved to Mexico City from America. We were worried about people getting into this country. Now we're having Americans leave this country.
Well, there's a lot of shit that has to happen first, and I think the first thing
the numbers are real.
We have to stop the regime that's running the country first. That's the first thing.
You can't stop. You can't stop that. That is well. Okay. Well, let's put it this way. Do you think you can stop the largest country in the world that has the most highest powers in the world? I mean, that's the military industrial revolutionary concept of a giant machine.
The question that really it boils down to is, will the United States military,
that's what I'm talking about,
declare war on its own people?
It could happen.
That's a could. It is a could.
That's a bad could. That's a bad could. You don't want that.
That's why we have to stop the fucking wokeism and the fucking regime that's running the country right now. We have to stop it. So the House, the Congress.
How do you stop madmen from killing each other and killing us?
If the Republicans can get control of the House and the Senate, that's a start, because they can stop the laws.
It could have stopped the bleeding. Could it stop the bleeding from all these other people? Because I tell you right now, a lot of these people are making actions we don't even know about.
Oh, World War III is happening right now. How are we going to stop that? That's a good question.
Say, like these preparational people, like we're preparing for guns and all our food and stuff. They got bases underground, like 6 feet under. Like they have base in like Detroit. I mean, all around the world, like Denver Airport. They got places to hide, and just in case nukes hit.
And we don't. Yeah, I understand that.
Awesome. Well, hey, Chris, you asked a question. I gotta take this phone roll back. But well, good talk.
It is actually about dinner time here.
You're on the way out?
I am getting ready to wrap this all up. We do have also, don't forget, folks, Rob Zombie's The Munsters is going to be due the end of this month, along with Tim Burton's Wednesday.
Yes, we do. We do horror shows because like sometimes talking about this is kind of horrific. So we actually into movies. We have Michelle of the Dead coming on the 30th. Yes, that's right, Chris.
Of October.
Shaun of
Uh,
the Dead? Is that what you said?
Michelle of the Dead.
Not the
Is
movie
that
guy.
like is that connected to Shaun of the Dead though?
Well, she does like Crypticon. She's a beautiful woman. She has pink
Oh,
hair.
it's a person. Okay. I thought you were
Yeah,
saying
she-
they're putting a new
she-
movie out or something.
Yeah, she's kind of like really. She's kind of that kind of girl. She's cool.
She knows
took
about the horror movies.
a giant cockroach and put it in her mouth and rolled around with it. It was her pet.
So
Ew,
yes,
wow.
by the time I get back in the studio, the next show, you can bet your ass as soon as Rob Zombie's The Monsters is out streaming,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be on watching it. Along with Tim Burton's Wednesday and Hocus Pocus 2 is coming to Disney
Yes,
Plus, which
Oh
Also,
boy.
looking to get
like I
sponsorship
say,
by Candy Company.
I've been questioning Hocus Pocus 2 because if you guys remember the first Hocus Pocus, there was no spell recast for them to come back. So once the candle went out, if the Sanderson sisters did not complete their mission by the time the Black Flame candle went out, there was no spell recast for them to come back and try again for round 2.
So what are your expectations though coming from Disney? Because Disney's kind of a dumpster fire lately.
I got Loki. Yeah, Loki. Loki was good. I like Loki.
It is. I'll admit. I am a fan of classic Disney. I do
Me too.
love some old school Disney shit. I don't know. I do. I think it's a good sign that all 3 of the original Sanderson sisters are in the movie. So
That's cool. Yeah, for sure.
that's I mean that's a plus.
Let's
Yeah,
hope
it's
that they keep it, on that original path instead of inserting things that don't belong, which is what Disney's been doing lately.
Right. Well, yeah, like especially in their remakes and stuff, because I watched the remake of Pete's Dragon when it came out, and I had to go watch the original twice just to regain my childhood. I haven't seen the remake of The Lion King, or I've seen the remake of Aladdin. It was okay. But I'm sorry, Robin Williams' Genie is irreplaceable.
Absolutely. That was a loss right there, man. What a great actor.
Yeah, and again, like I think Disney, again, I think they're good at Star Wars and like Loki, like that kind of stuff. But your classics, no. It just they don't have. They're hard to duplicate those concepts unless they really feel it.
Right. Well, and like
What was that? You don't feel it,
somebody said
it.
something to me about like watching the Avengers and stuff like that. Nope, never seen it. And the new Transformers, never seen it. Why? Because I want my childhood to remain intact, certain things the way I remember them.
There you go. I love the Transformers too, man. I got a little collection. Love them.
See, I remember the old school
Not
DIC
just
commercial
well,
cartoons.
The first 3 movies I think sucked. I think the last few have got better. I think they're getting better on the idea of what a villain should be. And I think the last 3 years, villains have been the new main star of the show. It just ended up being that way. And I don't know why. People just like villains, I guess.
See,
I'm
now,
cool with that.
I haven't
Loki
seen
got
any of
his
the new
show.
movies. On
Loki got his
Saturday
show.
mornings, on Saturday mornings nowadays, I actually get up, come in the studio, start getting ready for the weekly top 40, go to YouTube and vintage 80s cartoons, 70s cartoons, and watch the old Popeye and the All-Star Team and Scooby-Doo and Yogi Bear and Inspector Gadget and Smurfs and
Back when shit was good, man.
yeah, good cartoons.
I still like the old classic, like He-Man and fucking D&D.
He-Man and Thundercats and
Absolutely awesome shows, dude.
Dungeons and Dragons, that was good shit. I like Dungeons and Dragons, like get Benger and stuff like that. And that little
yeah.
That show was awesome.
was like a dungeon master. He had no hair on one side. He was just like a little type creature. He was small as hell, but he had all the books and spells and stuff, and he had all the characters, like the archer, and he had like the hero. You know, it was kind of cool. I like that.
Definitely.
And of course, Tiamat the dragon. Oh my god, take on Venger all the time. Oh man,
Badass. Totally.
and then we had, what was the 70s? You had what the Super Twins, the Super Friends, or whatever.
Super Friends, yeah.
Friends.
Justice
And
League, and the Legion of
Justice
Doom.
League.
You know,
G.I. Joe, dude. I love G.I. Joe.
Yeah. See,
Commander.
I especially love the old Hanna-Barbera, the Wacky
Oh, yeah.
Racers, Scooby-Doo, Muttley,
Who's that
Definitely.
Kung Fu
Snagglepuss.
dog? They're the Kung
Hong
Fu
Kong
dog.
Fooey,
Kung Fu, yeah.
number one
Kung Fu
super
dog, yeah.
guy.
Yeah. Then you had the horse that had a hat. It was like a cowboy or whatever. He was hanging
Quick
out with
Draw McGraw.
Quick Draw McGraw. That's right. Yeah, that's
You
right.
guys
And they
got
were-
kids?
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
fun.
but they're all grown up now.
Then they had they did the World Sports version of the cartoon. I don't know how that was. That was kinda
Yeah, that
cool.
was with the Wacky Race, the Laugh Olympics.
The Laugh Olympics. That's right. Yeah, that was good shit.
Team Scooby, Team Rotten, Team Yogi.
And I always like rot, and like there was a character that goes rot all the time. I used to do that in high school. I'd be up in the bleachers, and every time they're talking, it got really boring. I went rot, and they would go, "Shut up,
Yes.
Troy." No, rot. I like doing that. High school sucked, going to bleachers, so you had to do something to make it fun.
Well,
High school
honestly,
definitely
I think our generation up until like I was class of 2000, but I graduated in 99.
Yeah.
I think that was like the last generation of good high school.
Good high school. They told us we're all gonna go down the shitter.
Well, yeah, I mean
bet-
that was when high school sucked back in the days, the 70s, 80s, 90s. That's when high school was good.
Yeah, before the indoctrination.
You might be right there somewhere.
Before
in there.
technology.
Before the robots took over.
Serious. Before the internet.
Yeah, before the I mean,
Before
the internet's been
social.
around, but I mean, before technology. I mean, I remember our first computer in the 90s for high school, or for what was it? No, that was like 5th or 6th grade. We had the IBM, and they were teaching typing classes.
Right. Hey, Dan, let me ask you a question before I have to take off. It's more of a funny question. So what do you think about this modern technology? What do you think about Sophie getting citizenship in Saudi Arabia? What do you think about all this nuances in music? Do you go analog? Do you go digital? What do you think of this new stuff?
That's a great topic, actually. You know, what I don't like is the ability to click after 30 seconds. It
Yeah.
you know, especially with like my type of genre or any type of music that builds. Like if they don't hear 30 seconds, they're not captivated. They click away and then they're just missing all the music. You know, like I miss buying the new Metallica album and coming home and making a day of it with the headphones and watching, looking at the artwork, and you know, it's not like that anymore. It's just so not like that.
Can I confess? I think the CD ruined that.
Yeah, bro.
Because you could just push a button and go to the next song, and you know that, and top 40 terrestrial radio only playing the singles. No one wants to sit down and listen to the whole album nowadays. They just want the single.
I agree there.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, we're living in the Tom McDonald era, and so
I love Tom McDonald.
You know, look at the era though. What we're okay. Let's say you're a Tom McDonald person. Let's say you're an artist that's like Tom McDonald. You're throwing out these songs every week or every 3 weeks. So what you do is you get your mass fans to get ready for another one and another one. So it's no longer albums, but what can I outdo the next week? What can I outdo the next week? It's not about how we used to think about how you get your music.
But
How
in
you
a
get your-
way,
on a
it
streaming-
makes sense, dude, because if you put one video out, you get all the attention for the entire song instead of someone clicking through. You know what I mean?
Sabotage Nuclear Blast knows that. That's the reason why Nuclear Blast and a lot of European labels know what the hell they're doing. Americans are still thinking, well, we can put it in a CD, we can do this. No, dude, no, you're living 2022. It's going to be 2023. It's going to be 2027. You're living in a different era. Okay, those times are gone. They ain't coming back.
Right.
It's like track. That time has come and it's gone.
I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, the metal community are the biggest amount of collectors overall.
Still want to have the business, but the main consumer, the one that's consuming, like sucking it all up, are going to go that way.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, the internet has it's opened things up, because now if you're a smaller band, you get more attention, you get more spread. It helps in that way. But then all the garbage bands are out there.
Yeah. If you're just sitting on your laurels and you don't promote yourself and you don't get yourself out there, I don't care if you have the best new music in the world, you will still only get 12 views.
Right.
I'm not talking 1,200. I'm talking 12 views.
What I'm saying is, say back when I started playing music, right? You had to tape trade. Nobody knew who the fuck you were unless you put a cassette in a mail and mail it to someone, and then the word spreads it around. Now, any Tom, Dick, and Harry can put out a fucking CD and share it, and they're still going to get more views than the person that was tape trading, just because the access, you can get it right now. I'm not saying it's bad. It's got good and bad to it. You know what I'm saying? But like me personally,
you're right. There's a lot of pros and cons.
Yeah. You put the headphones on, you absorb an entire album. That's how I like to listen to music. You know, I don't want to, I will, but I don't care about fucking the first 30 seconds. I'm going to let that song develop and see how it builds and crescendo, whatever it makes. Like, there's none of that anymore. People just make a
I don't blame Tom McDonald. If it wasn't Tom McDonald, it would have been somebody else. You don't blame the person that's paving the road. Blame what society has become.
All right. But
I don't blame one individual.
I'll tell you what, folks, it has been fun sitting around chatting here, but it is past dinner time and I got to get something to eat.
Great talking to Dan here. I would like to get him back on the show sometime from New Hampshire. And I'm glad you got the release. I think if you work with Chris and with the company, we can always plug his stuff, right?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes, always. But either who, Troy, thanks for hanging out. Dan, thanks for hanging out. Everybody out there on YouTube.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yes. Thank you, everyone. Check out AsgardRadio.com, where the gods go to rock.